I want your attention for just a moment, because this is worth saying. It's worth listening to. I realize that so much of the people are lied to, and the scary part is that they may know they're lied to, and just accept it. Status quo. The truth is unreasonable, unrighteous, and immoral to believe anything, without sufficient evidence. I'm not going to try and take up a lot of time, I'm going to jump right into this. I sat down on the day of rest, the day that beavers rest on, the day that bees do no toil on, the Sabbath, and I listened to a man talk, David. And the talk of the day was concerning global warming. He observed how the whole world was coming together to combat global warming, and he gave an illustration, from a biblical perspective, why it's never a good thing when all the people come together. That sounds counterintuitive, I know. But please wait, just allow me to speak. Do you know what that picture is? That represents the Tower of Babel. In this instance, the whole world came together, trying to reach heaven. The first space race. The next slide is an article from the Vatican News. Pope calls for educational alliance to promote care for common home. This article can be found online, just look up Vatican News. Unity and cooperation as means to achieve cultural synthesis is a good thing, it is righteous. But when the oppressor, or as my friend Herman calls them, the abusers, are pushing the cause, it's never a good thing. I haven't investigated, but I'm willing to bet my life that Biden is endorsed by the C.P.U.S.A., the United States Communist Party. Yes, there actually is such a thing. There is a biography of Steve Nelson, called American Radical. Read if you'd like to know more. The next slide, we start from the middle, the book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 3 and 4. 3. And when King Herod heard this, he was troubled, and all of Jerusalem with him. 4. And when he gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. It says, when Herod heard this, he was troubled, and all of Jerusalem with him. Do you think every single person was troubled in Jerusalem? Who is all? Obviously, all the people that would be affected by King Herod, as in his constituents. It says, he gathered all the chief priests and all the scribes together. They all came together in the beginning. Be interested. Matthew 27:1 and 2. And they all came together in the end. Consider that. When the morning came, all the chief priests and elders of the people came to put the Messiah to death. They, all, bound him, they led him, and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Next slide, Act 2, takes us back to the beginning. It reads, in the book of Genesis chapter 11, verse 6. And the Father said, indeed the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they began to do. Now nothing they propose to do will be withheld from them. 7. Come, let us go down and confuse their language, so they will not understand one another's speech. The next slide, part 3, brings us to the end of the book. Revelations 14:8, 8. Another angel followed saying, Babylon has fallen, is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wrath of her fornication. The Seventh-day Adventists call this the second angel's message. Everyone else just calls it. Revelations 14:8, all the nations drank of the wrath of her fornication. I know I'm not the only one who realizes that we are experiencing all the world coming together, right now, and I'll wrap this up after this. Revelation 16:13 and 15, 13. I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs coming out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and the mouth of the false prophet. 14. They are spirits of demons, performing signs, which go out to the kings of the earth and all the world, and to gather them to the battle of the great day of the Almighty. 15. I come as a thief. Blessed is he who keeps watch, and keeps his garments, lest he walk naked, and his shame be seen. David spoke, and related this to global warming, and how the whole world was coming together to combat this. And he was all for being against Babylon, which is where this starts. But not long after this was said, this happened, and the whole world united against an invisible enemy like never before. And David was so on board with the government. I was blown away. What people will do to keep money in their pocket. I've never paid taxes. 1099, W2. Nothing. The point of this is, though, wide are the gates that lead to destruction, many will find them. He says that, many will come to me, and he'll say, I never knew you. Resistance to tyranny is obedience to love. Want my advice? I know people are getting sick. John 12:11. The poor will always be with us, poor in money, poor in gifts, poor in health. Eat healthy and don't let them destroy the food.